within the medicine website, in the policy page, or under the ND students part, obviously, there are a few different things there, elective clinical placement, the form you need to fill in to apply, that you take to your clinical school, and then your forms. And that's about it from me. Any quick questions? I can get on to the other good stuff.
I do actually have a question. With regards to the change for the introducing those tools now,
yeah.
Does that mean that individual degrees can't actually apply for the ISL scheme?
I don't know about that. Do you mean? No, I don't know about that. Sorry, I don't answer that question. Yeah, so it hasn't ever been on the transcript though. Electives haven't ever been on there. So if you were able to apply the part for that, then it should be really good. Sorry. Any other questions? Okay.
You mentioned the university providing students. What's that students coming to?
So it's basically it's in the you're in a hospital, and we have to read through the policies, but it will be specific to what you're doing and where you are. It's about being a med student and working in the hospital. So the same signature that we provide to you in relation to that. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Alright, next up we want to have one of our amazing sponsors here. We've got Avant coming to tell you all about the electives process and what they have to offer. So please welcome Avant.
Alright. Hi everyone. My name is Michaela Thorne and I'm a Business Development Manager with Avant. Today I'd just like 5 minutes of your time to tell you about some of the benefits that you might not know about being an Avant member. But just before I start, can I just see a quick show of hands? How many of you know that you already are a student member with Avant? Oh, fantastic, great, a lot of you. So as you can see, we do have a lot of extra benefits, not just the medical indemnity insurance that we offer. But today I'm just going to be focusing on the top 3. So that's what the policy covers in regards to your electives, the free electives guide that we're giving out tonight, and how useful it is, and then also benefits like travel insurance, and also we have a student program that I want to tell you about. So professional indemnity is designed to protect both your assets and your reputation should you have a complaint made against you by a patient. Your university may not cover you for everything, so as we heard in that question before, you're covered for in-hospital care, but you may not be covered for Good Samaritan Acts inside Australia or overseas. And the policy includes things like, I'm just going to rattle off some numbers to you, $20 million in professional indemnity cover, covers you, as I said, with Good Samaritan Acts anywhere in the world, covers you for placements that form part of your medical course either interstate or internationally, except for the US, and also offers free communicable disease cover up to $75,000. Some of you may know about our Medicare Legal Advice Hotline. So that's the number up in the top, your right-hand corner. So some of the reasons why students call through to get advice, number 1 is clinical records. So I'm not sure if you guys know, but there have been some new privacy laws that have come into play. So if you have any questions about if a patient has access to their record, or say the police have come in and requested a patient's record, please feel free to call and ask because there are some changes. The next one is employment or accreditation issues, and the third one is clinical treatments. So, for example, if a student is asked to perform an exam on a patient in their clinical school, there was this one case where after the examination, the patient went to the police and complained that the student had inappropriately touched her breast during the examination. The police took the case to AHPRA, and AHPRA had to decide whether the student could actually sit their exams. So something like that, which could happen fairly easily, If you have any questions, please let us know. In that particular case, luckily, Medical Defence Organisation came to the student's rescue and he managed to sit the exam, so it's all fine. But yeah, anything like that, please feel free to give us a call. Next, I'd like to talk to you about our electives guide. So this is a book that helps with planning of your electives anywhere in the world. It an elective offers you a unique experience to learn somebody's culture, and this book really helps you in figuring out and organising that. So some of the key features are introduction to medicines in over 100 countries, up-to-date information on hospitals, organisations and institutes, details ranging from common diseases in that country to what their social life is like, other things like adventure medicine, bursaries and grants, and also info on embassies and visas that you may need assistance with. So this book is free for all of our members. All you have to do is come and see either myself or my colleague Michelle at our table. Just let us know your name, we'll look you up, and then you get one of these books. Otherwise, if you're not a member, sign up and we'll give you one. Next, I want to talk about our travel insurance. So, as most of you know, Avant offers students free travel insurance. So this is obviously ideal if you're planning just a holiday or an elective. We cover you for either. It doesn't have to be specifically work-related. These cover you for international and interstate, unlimited trips up to 6 months. So if you're having longer than a 6-month holiday, you're doing better than most of us. Covers you for medical expenses and emergency assistance, loss of baggage, trip cancellations. So one thing we do say to you, if you are going to use our travel insurance, which all you have to do is jump online, go to our travel section and register the dates you're travelling. Do it as soon as you board your flights, because if something happens and your trip's cancelled, you're actually covered from the minute that you register before you even step on the plane. So it's really handy, guys. So we're nearly there. Last one I want to talk to you about is our unique work placement. So every year Avant holds a competition with Interclass. For those of you who don't know, Interclass are a non-for-profit organisation. They send teams of medical experts to Asia-Pacific regions for free surgical treatments for patients. So we have a prize which is an all-expenses-paid return trip to Fiji, so that you can partake in one of these field trips. Registrations are opening in May. The person will be chosen in November, and you will leave on your trip in early 2015. I have a quick video with just some experiences that one of our last winners went through. So I don't know if you can do that, but we'll try. Interclass are a volunteer organisation of plastic surgeons and their teams, and they work throughout developing countries in Asia Pacific. My name is Melissa, and I'm a final year medical student at the University of Western Sydney. The main reason that I wanted to study medicine was wanting to make a difference to someone's life, and I think medicine allows you to do that every day of your working career. I heard about the trip last year at the ANSA convention, and the band representative got up on stage and told all the students about this unique opportunity to be able to send one of us overseas with Interclass on a medical program. So it's a really unique partnership between a band and Interclass to be able to send a student for the first time. So the trip was to Suva in Fiji, where the Interclass medical team worked really hard treating as many patients as they could and educating the local Fijian medical staff to be able to perform the procedures that the surgeons were coming to do and be able to look after the local needs of their people. And I think that's really sustainable change. One of the highlights of the trip was seeing 65-year-old gentlemen being treated, especially when Interclass prioritised to treat the children first. So towards the end of the trip, and the team really pushed to have him life-changing operation because he was the sole breadwinner for his family. And so by helping him, they were able to help his wider extended family. The Fijian people were so welcoming, and they were always really happy, and even when patients would have big smiles on their faces. It was amazing to see their faces just light up and how happy and grateful they were for what the Interclass team was there to do. It it reminded me of how humbling it is to be a part of such a great profession. I really cannot thank the band and each department enough for what was just an incredible opportunity. So guys, keep an eye out for the emails. They'll be coming through to you. All you have to do is register online, or if we're at any events over the next couple of months, we'll give you a hard copy registration form for that. Or if you have any questions about travel insurance, or you just want to sign up, it's free. Come and have a chat. Thanks so much. Enjoy the night.
So thanks again, Michaela and Mark, for giving us a quick talk. Right now we have Martha, one of our amazing elective subcommittee students, come to give us a quick presentation about IFMSA, Work the World, and other various elective processes. So thank you, Trung and Martha.
You can clap if you want.
So I'm an MG4 now, and when I was in your position, I had no idea what an elective was, and when the people came up and started talking about it, I still had no idea. And there's all these forms going up, and everyone's telling you it's a 4-week placement and you have to do it. And the first question I always had was, yeah, but what exactly do I do? And the point is, it can be absolutely anything related to medicine. So a lot of the presentations you're going to hear tonight are going to be about getting a placement in a hospital or going to some rural place and working in primary healthcare and helping people. But it can be something as simple as working with the sports doctor at a local footy team, or working in another hospital in Melbourne, or helping out in a refugee health centre. It doesn't have to be specifically in a hospital setting. It could be as a medical officer on a camp over the summer. It can be as loosely related to medicine as you want it to be, as long as you are getting something out of it medically related. And I want this to be a bit of a conversation. So if you have any questions, I want you to think about them, and I'll answer them from the perspective of someone who's been where you are now, who worked through all the policies and procedures and forms, did their placement, and understands exactly what it is after the fact. So I'll leave now with Trung to talk about the exchange program actually through UMS. So this is how I did my elective, and it was a great experience, and it's also a great opportunity.
Alright, hi guys, I'm Sean, the UMS Exchange Officer. So I'm just going to talk to you about the UMS Exchange program, and then Martin will then finish it off. So, what is it? Well, we've been advertising this for a while now, and now we're rebooting it with a whole list of new countries. So, the UMS Exchange program is run by the International Federation of Medical Students Association, IFMSA. AMSA represents Australia at the IFMSA. So IFMSA is a student-run initiative that started in Denmark in 1950 as a way for medical students around the world to go on global exchange. So it's a global health program about equity and the exchange of medical knowledge and information. And so this program is recognized by the WHO, the WHO. Alright, so what are the benefits? What do you get from this program? Well, this program is a ready-made elective program where everything is organized for you. All you need to do is book flights. So you get a clinical placement, a supervisor, get accommodation, food, a social program. You get to meet medical students around the world. There are countries such as the Czech Republic that get 30 students at the one time. And so you get to meet people from around the globe converted to one place. And so you won't be going there to do your elective and traveling by yourself. You'll have support from other medical students. It's nothing like it. You'll be integrated into the local medical student society, and you get an IFMSA certificate. Now that certificate used to be useful because we used to have a media CV, but I suppose it could help you if you want to do an internship with the group. And all this costs you $800. $800. Now, the only thing it doesn't cover, as I said, it does not include travel expenses, does not include visas, and does not include spending money. You've got to find your own spending money. And I just want to flag now, next year AMSA will be increasing the price to $900. So as of July the 1st this year, any contract that you do to us will cost $900. So that won't affect you guys if you apply this round for December, January 2014, 2015, it will still be $800. But just to keep in mind, for MD ones, the MD2s out there, next year will be $900. Okay, so when can you do it? So with the MD course, the only time you could probably do it is in December and January, and so it has to be a continuous 4-week elective. You can't actually break it up into 2 weeks, 2 and 2. It has to be continuously 4 weeks. Now, with the AMSA exchange program. Now, AMSA does allow students to go anytime during the year. That isn't possible during the MBA course, unless you're doing the MPH, where you can probably go in July. So, where can you go? These are the contracts AMSA managed to sign in IFMSA medical conference in March. So, not a lot of options, but in Asia Pacific region we have 11. So Thailand, China, Philippines, Nepal. In America we have the Americas region is Chile, Brazil, Canada, Quebec. In Europe we have the Czech Republic, Portugal, Italy, and Turkey. We have 1 Egypt and 5 Kenyan places. Now please keep in mind that in Quebec you need to speak French, and in Chile, you need basic Spanish. Basic Spanish. You can go to Chile without Spanish, and the doctors will teach you in English. But I question how useful it would be if you can't speak to the patients. Unless you do surgery with learning the patients.
Alright, guys.
What we've said. So I'll just explain how our program works. So Drew mentioned IFMSA is the International Federation of Medical Student Societies. So each country has its own medical student society. We have AMSA, Spain has AEA or something around those lines because I did my exchange in Barcelona. So what happens is when you pay that $800 to do the program, because unfortunately that's how much it costs in Australia to do it. So when you go on this program, your accommodation for the whole 4 weeks is paid for and 1 meal a day, as well as the elective placement in the hospital. When you go overseas, someone else has paid for your elective there, and when someone comes back from that country, so these up here are the contracts that it's bilateral, when one person goes over, one person comes back. Your $800 pays for that student to be able to complete their elective here, because it pays for them to have the hospital costs and have their accommodation. What we've launched here in Melbourne now, what we're trying to set up is a hosting program. So part of our elective here is because unfortunately Melbourne is only quite young. That's why we don't have that many contracts at the moment. Melbourne's quite young and we're trying to build a social program, be a bit more competitive with the other student societies around the world and make it an interesting experience. And so we're actually calling on you guys, if you would put your hand up if you would like to go on exchange, if it's possible, you put your hand up to be a student host. So that would mean that one of the elective students from overseas that wants to come to Melbourne would come and stay with you if you have a room and are able to provide them a room and 1 meal a day. And then IMSA will reimburse you the $300 at the end of the month. Everyone looks really confused. Does someone want to ask me a specific question so I can clarify the confusion? No. Alright, keep going. Oh yeah? it is not compulsory, but because the Melbourne program is so young, we've gotten and it's only just developed, and the popularity has spread like wildfire. We're actually quite popular. It's not compulsory to host a student, but it is beneficial in the application process. If you have put up your name that you will host a student, it's like, I guess, an advantage in our application process. So what our application process will be, and we'll go through that. It's part of it is answering some motivation questions about why you want to go on exchange and why you should go on exchange. And part of it is also are you willing to host a student, or have you hosted a student incoming? So just try to make the process as fair as possible.
Okay guys, how do you apply? So you need to log on to UM's website, ums.org.au. So this is the website, you haven't seen it. Now, let me come over now. This is where you log on. You type in your email, your student ID. If you have any problems, email check@ums.org.au. That's Jane. Jane. Yeah. So you must log on to be able to access the application form. So once you log on, click on community and click on answer exchange program. Then you fill in the application form. Easy as that. But you must log on. It's not very fun. This is the page you'll get once you log on. So, application opens now and it closes at 5 p.m. Friday the 23rd of May. So that gives you a solid 3.5 weeks. So as Martin mentioned before, students who can host an exchange student will receive priority. And later years will be prioritised, MD3s over MD2s over MD1s. Applications will be marked by UM's executive and exchange subcommittee. So there will be blind markings with names removed. Each application will be marked twice. So if you'd like more information, just email me at exchange@ums.org.au. That's the website for UM's application form. And this IPMSA.org website is a website where you can go and look at the exchange conditions. Each country has a list of all their requirements. And go have a look. Some country does have specific restrictions, such as final year students, or such as the requirement to speak French or Spanish. So have a look at those exchange conditions before applying. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah. Can you have the placement up before? Yeah. So when the international student societies, all the different ones from every country, twice a year they meet and they sign contracts like, you can have one of your students can come to our country and one of our students will go to your country. And so at the last meeting in March, they're the contracts that we were able to sign to have reciprocal students. So those are the countries at the moment that are available for us to organise the exchange to. It will change after every general meeting depending on which contracts we're able to sign. So when you go on this is an important website, the exchange conditions. Out of those countries that flashed up before, you can click on those countries in the exchange conditions and read about what their requirements are. So, for example, my requirements were that I had to have my elective from the day 1 of the month to the last day of the month. I had to bring a lab coat, I had to have a stethoscope, like just basic things, and I had to be finished 1 year of clinical studies already. Some countries require that you be in your final year. Some countries require that you finish 2 years of clinical studies. It just depends what the countries need from you, depending on what the hospitals and the doctors need from you. Now, Chung did mention some countries actually specify that you have to be able to speak their language, like, for example, Germany have that you have to speak German. I went and did mine in Spain. I don't speak Spanish, and I didn't do surgery. And I managed fine. The doctor spoke English to me and taught me English. I learnt some basic Spanish before I left. And you'll be surprised with what you learn with medical terms and anatomy and Latin. I could read a patient history and I couldn't believe it. I could read in Spanish, but if you gave me a basic book that a 5-year-old could read, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. But a patient history, no problems. Yeah.
Some of the conditions like the final year but for us is like we're at before.
So you could do it between MD3 and MD4. So you finished MD3, and you could do it.
That's a final year.
That's the final year because you finished that year, you graduated. Just as well to emphasise, guys, this is just one way to do an elective. Like I said before, there's like presented some things, there's other electives companies, you can organise it yourself, call up the hospital, or if you know someone, you've got medical connections through your family or your friends, you can be absolutely anywhere. And tonight basically is just a way to show you and give you some ideas about how to do it.
Everybody give a nice round. Our next speaker is one of our other fantastic sponsors. So right now, we're going to hear from Buongiorno.
Thank you very much for having us here this evening for an elective evening. I'm Rebecca Wise, I'm the marketing director for Buongiorno Grad team, and I'd like to introduce to you our other members of the grad team. Vicky Calvo, who's our head advisor for the grad team, and also Ben Buongiorno, who is the head lead regarding the pro loan, student medical loan, who will be talking to you about tonight. So we're here to show you an opportunity as to how to stress less, do more, and just go. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. And that opportunity that you just mentioned then is a $10,000 unsecured personal loan to help you with these electives that True and Marta were speaking about just before, about getting you across the line, and that problem of having money to go on these electives and take advantage of these opportunities is what we're here to speak about. Now, you are eligible in your final and penultimate years of study, and you need to be an Australian citizen or permanent resident to be able to be eligible for this loan. Now, a really interesting fact about this one is it's tailor-made for you as a medical practitioner. And Buongiorno's want to help you, achieve and be able to go on these electives. And we were therefore able to cut our rate by 6%. Down to 8.69%. So you see the other options. If you do have full-time work, you can take advantage of a credit card or a personal loan. You'll see right there that in comparison to the interest rate, we're able to give you, it's quite a nice loan. Now, the features of the loan. We'll go through them one by one. It's $10,000 and it's an unsecured loan. There are no repayments until the 30th of September of your internship year. So like I said, it's tailor-made towards you guys. There are a lot of people sitting here right now that don't have an income coming in the door. Now, you've got a little bit of time on your hands until you start your actual internship, and so you don't need to make those monthly repayments as you would with a personal loan or a credit card. You've got up until the 30th of September of your internship year. Now, you're only paying interest on money you use. I was speaking to Vic before, and I'll speak about this very, very shortly, but we were explaining the fact that you're only paying interest on the amount outstanding. There are no fees and charges for this loan. There's no startup costs, there's no ongoing fees, there's no early repayment costs, there's no fees at all. It's here to help. You don't have to have an income, parents don't have to sign off on it, and it's a very simple application process. And the question being, what can you actually use the loan for? Use it for your elective being the main reason that we're here tonight. But you can pay off a credit card. You can go on a holiday. We're not here to for your parents and watch out what you're going to use it for. I know that there is a Melbourne University loan of $5,000 you have to put towards your tuition. This loan is here and it's to be used. Like one of my now clients, Cameron Hart, used in Arusha in Tanzania. You wouldn't have been able to do this without the actual loan. You see him having a great time on his elective. Now, this is a little sample of a few of my clients that have actually taken the student loan. I reckon this was a really interesting one. Emmanuel Henry. Now, to give you a bit of an understanding, Emmanuel came in and he said, look, Ben, I'm not sure if I actually need the loan, but I might. I'm going on elective, things can come up. I said, okay, let's sign you up. Now, we signed Emmanuel up, and now the reason for that is because Emmanuel used it as a safety net. Okay? There weren't any startup costs, there's no monthly ongoing fees, there's no fees across the board. Now, he didn't actually use any of the loan, which is the best case example. He wasn't charged any interest because he didn't, draw down on the money. Yet throughout that whole period of time, he had a safety net. He had $10,000 if he ever needed it while he was overseas. I think it's just a really nice example of what you could possibly use this for. Other examples, Stephen Newey, I wish he had me. He used it for the actual, loan purpose, and he was able to better Rwanda. There are plenty of different examples. So to recap on the actual loan, to go back over it, you're eligible in your final and penultimate years, as well as being an Australian citizen or permanent resident. There are payments until the 30th of September of your internship year. So you don't have to worry right now about making your payments if you have drawn down upon the money. That 30th of September, now you have the full $10,000 in your final and penultimate years, as long as you come forward with all the material. We take it to a credit committee meeting and make sure we go through. That interest rate is 8.69%. That is a variable rate, but it's linked to what we call the Westpac Flexi variable rate, and you always have a 6% discount. Like I said, it's tailor-made towards you guys as medical practitioners, as bonjournos, showing you that we want to help you go on these electives. No fees. You'll never ever receive a fee. So that's the loan that we're here to speak about, and another opportunity I'll pass on to Ricky to explain to you guys.
All right, just quickly on that one. I know Ben spoke at length about it, but it has been very well received from a Bongiorno perspective. So from a company perspective, there's been a lot of clients who have actually taken out the loan just for this purpose. So do speak to Ben in the break or afterwards. We will be hanging around for a while. But who is going on an elective in December, January? Planning to? A few? Not many? The year after? Yeah, a few more. All right, very good. So, of everyone in the room, who would like to win $2,000 to go on an elective? Yes. There we go. More hands, more hands. Okay, so we've got the lovely Jessica and Rebecca handing out some forms. Now, anyone going on an elective can win $2,000. It's going to be somebody in this room. Okay, so this $2,000 can be used for anything on your elective. All you have to do is fill in this piece of paper and tell us in 50 or 100 words where you're going and what you're going to use it for. So, a bit of a tip, be a little bit creative when you use the 50 or 100 words, otherwise you're not going to stand out from everyone else in the room. Alright, so that's what Jono's wanting to help. There is a cut-off. It will close on the 26th of May. Yeah. It will close on the 26th of May. So you need to make sure you get your entries in before that date. Now we will be out for well, because you're the only ones actually filling out a piece of paper. So as long as you fill out a piece of paper, we will be one of them. There you go. Increases your chances. So that's it from us. Now, fill out those forms, give them back to us before you leave tonight, and good luck with the competition.
Thanks again, Bonjour. Sounds like some fantastic loans and fantastic programs. So if you could just put my name up to the top, that would be fantastic. All right, so one more speaker before we get to go break for pizza. So we've got Megan here. So if Megan wants to come take quickly down and give their presentation. I'll go find Megan.
Hey guys, I was looking around looking for a Megan, so obviously you don't know the name of my own company. So I'm David from MIGA or Mega or Megan or so of course typing away working. Now I'm going to talk to you about our elective grants program, which is obvious from what we have up on the screen there. So let's get into that. So we offer support for medical students undertaking elective placements in developing communities. I might just mention here that developing communities include Australian Indigenous communities as well. So if you're planning on doing elective there, you can apply for our grants as well. So there's 6 grants each year of $3,500, $2,000 of which goes towards your expenses, the fund your travel, etc. And $1,500 goes towards the purchase of medical equipment and supplies for the community that you're doing your elective in. Now, if you consider how far the Australian dollar goes in, say, Asia or lots of parts of Africa, the $1,500 might go a really long way, so bear that in mind. So we've introduced a new grant each year for an Australian Indigenous medical student. I think that really ties in with the fact that you can, hopefully they can do a elective in developing community and an Indigenous one themselves. So that's a really good initiative we've added in the last 2 years. So we can apply. So medical students are undertaking elective placement between March this year and February next year. Don't worry, if it's after that, you can apply next year's round of grants. And you need to be obviously a developing community and being a member of MIGA. So go to our website to submit your application. You'll see here that closing date is the 29th of August. And there's lots of information on there, past recipients, all that sort of stuff. When you come out in the break, get your pizza, those little booklets I've got on the desk. We haven't quite got the handouts for this year yet, but we've got the normal student brochure has lots of information about the electives in there. Now, just to finish off with, I want to talk about medical indemnity insurance. Obviously, you guys are covered by the hospital or the uni while you're doing your rounds. So, can anyone tell me why you need your own medical indemnity insurance?
We're going to get sued one day?
Maybe. Let's get into it. So there's plenty of reasons why you might need your own medical indemnity insurer, even if the hospital or the university is covering you for claims. If there's a complaint against you, that goes to the medical board. Would you write your medical indemnity company's lawyers to write a statement for you to cover you? I maybe as a junior doctor, cranial inquiries can be, a big worry. I understand they call the whole team, consultant down to intern, so I'm not sure if medical students, if you're involved in the case, get called along as well. Again, you'd like our lawyers to write your statement for you to protect yourselves. There's actually so many instances that I can think of where doctors, junior doctors, and hospital doctors and medical students need their own cover. There's one example of one of our medical students who noticed that a child might have been the victim of family violence and was worried that they would have to go to court and all that sort of stuff. So they obviously used our lawyers through that process. So as you can see there, we're covering for clinical placements, built some aerodynamics, helping universities worldwide, including the USA. Actually covering for your electives in the USA up to a point as well, so kind of talking about that. Cranial inquiries, criminal investigations, you covered innocent until proven guilty, so we'll defend you through criminal investigations. 24/7 support and advice, so we've got our medico legal advice team. You're worried about whether you should report an incident, you can speak to our medico legal team. So obviously, intern insurance is free as well, and actually it's free until halfway through your third postgraduate year, which is on the LIGA. So there we go. So student intern insurance is free with us. One of the common questions I get asked is, I'm already with one of the other MDOs, why should I join you guys as well, or vice versa? Well, you're not going to get another opportunity for the rest of your career to be a member with all the MDOs while they're free. So take advantage of that now while you're a student and do your, investigations and make a informed decision by having a chance to see what we all offer. You don't know what you're going to base your final decision on yet, so if you have a chance to become a member with all of them and have us all communicate with you, that'll help you make an informed decision later on as a junior doctor. And so anyone who's not already a member with MIGA can join tonight, and if you do so, just a single page form, you're going to draw for $1,000 travel voucher. So Thomas will be electives as well. So thanks for your kind attention, and we'll see you outside.
So thanks very much, Linda. So just before we break up the pizza, just a few quick announcements. We do have gluten-free and vegetarian pizzas, and they're at that corner. So if you're gluten-free or vegetarian, back corner, and you could. There's sponsors with all kinds of amazing things. We have Work of the World, we have Mix, Bonjour, Mega, Barnes. So you can speak to all of them and see what you can get out of them. Squeeze them for every penny you can. Alright, enjoy pizza. we've got Peter who went to the Massachusetts General Hospital in run through Harvard. We've got Nikki who went to Austria, Nick who went to Tanzania, and Kasum who went to who? So okay, let's get started. So I could first get you all to give a quick introduction about where you went and what you did over there and what specialty you did. Starting with Mila.
Okay, so I went to Confian District Hospital in the Western Highlands of Papua New Guinea. It's a pretty isolated place, and because it's a rural hospital, it's no particular specialty, so it's a little bit of everything. So a lot of peds, a lot of obstetrics, a lot of trauma, and then just general surgery, general medicine, a lot of typhoid, malaria, things that we don't see more.
So I went to Massachusetts General in Boston, ranked as one of the hospitals in the States. In pediatric burn at National and at Shriners Hospital, which is like across the street. 44 hours.
Yes, I don't mind it when it's in the hospital in Tanzania. It's in the Singida region, which is right below the country, from the city. And very boring. And the hospital is mainly sort of very generalist, so a lot of office and gyne, a lot of peds, a lot of infectious diseases, and then very much general med as well. That's a quite a big population.
I went to the General Hospital in Austria, and it's the second largest hospital in the world. And I did mine in the pharmacology department, which is sort of the concept of the orthopedic department. And so the surgery.
Okay, I didn't mind the World Organization. So it was not really critical at all, obviously public health, so it wasn't a lot of best work that was put into the perspective.
So how do you guys go about organising your electives? Like, how did you find out about hospitals or World Health Organization? How did you find out about the hospital you wanted to go to, and how did you go about organising?
I'm probably a really bad example because I just googled Electives Papua New Guinea and that's what came up. And so I just emailed the hospital directly and they said fine. It's around the hospital I went to run by someone who's associated with the University of Adelaide, so they used to have a student all the time from Australia, and it's just a matter of when they've got availability because they're putting up loads of students in. So if you email them and it's a good time, they'll just say fine and then
So I was looking at electives focused in the States, because I kind of going back to residency and so all of them required to pay tuition. They vary, and most of them are somewhere about $3,000 for the fully elective. Harvard was $4,300, so I figured for tuition Mass General. Basically, we're looking around different electives in the States, as well as different requirements, tuition fees, and have to be a quantity for MSL.
So I went through the Electives Network website, which is a really awesome resource for essentially setting up your own elective, because it's run by a UK organisation, and UK students basically always run electives overseas. And especially in Tanzania, you'll notice most things are used to the English health system. So they use it very formula and everything like that. They're very used to it for students coming in. And the way we organise it is have a trust. So the hospital has a trust fund dedicated to it in the UK, and they run all the emailing to the hospital and back. So just email them and they sort it out for the hospital. Sort it out with for you, really.
I did mine through the iPhone exchange program for the ones.
Still alive, don't say.
Oh, that one. Yeah, so basically I just emailed my local exchange officer and asked for any current places in Europe that they actually had existing contracts with, so it wouldn't be too much of a bother to set up a new contract that would take a few months. And they had Vienna as one of the open ones, and I thought, well, I really wanted it to be in Europe for the travelling aspect of it, so I just did that. I found out about it because I was in
So with the providers, my friends do a job internship, and they have a pretty comprehensive internship program, and it's fairly they have a pretty comprehensive. Sorry, it's a pretty comprehensive internship program. You apply online to the website, and it doesn't really cost anything other than living there and flying there. It's pretty expensive, so I'm excited now because I love doing exams without procrastinating. And I found the week before I started going. So I kind of put my flights on accommodation all within a week and probably didn't do it the best way. Kind of wanted to live and I got to Switzerland. So I took my classes apply early, organize early, and email people incessantly because they get thousands of applications every year. And if you take a ship, you get contact with that, they'll pick you over the 100 there.
So just to make this clear, if any of you have any questions throughout the night, just put your hand up and give a shout out. So moving on. So what influenced you guys to choose an elective in this area? Was there any particular reason you wanted to do it in, say, like beginning or who or etc.?
I think my main kind of reason for doing something different is that it was different. The clinical electives are hopefully good to see stuff that you wouldn't see in Melbourne or Australia. But I kind of wanted to try something that I wouldn't otherwise get to do. And I guess like the WHO is kind of seen as this big untouchable organization, and I kind of really want to see what they do and communicate into like the role of people. But for them really hard to work with and do something. The skills they have. So I guess it's really good to kind of get a perspective on what you can do and just see what massive organization they do.
I chose to go to Darwin because I really want to spend too much time with it. But I also wanted to be I was also interested in electricity at the time, and Darwin is probably the best place for Australia. I thought, because at the beginning of last year when I did my elective, a really long gap, maybe 3 or 4 months of a break. So I thought it would be, I wanted to make the most of that break. So I thought when I'm going overseas, if you're going to do something like an elective, you might as well just keep it again. But then at that time I was really interested in surgery, so that's why I chose the surgery elective.
So basically, I've been interested in going to Africa to do my elective since basically the beginning of May. And it's just a really good opportunity to go somewhere you otherwise would have absolutely no reason to go to, so in the middle of nowhere in Africa, and see things you would never see and really experience the culture firsthand.
So what I would say is just, unless you have a good reason to go to Mass General, probably not worth going because it's incredibly expensive and the application process is actually huge pain. But like I said, I wanted to apply to residency in the States. I'm the one who had clinical experience in the States. It's vital. And I chose a pediatric one. And I said chose because you're meant to rank 15 different electives within Harvard, and then you don't have a choice as to which one to assign. They basically assign it for you, and then that's the one you have to take. So it's either yes or no. I listed a bunch of pediatric ones because I was interested in pediatrics, and I got the pediatric surgical specialty, so I was pretty good.
Yeah, again, I chose PNG because I wanted something completely different, and it was relatively cheap to go overseas in comparison to other places. But also, I wanted to do something really hands-on, especially going into the final year where we have to do this research term, we're not really having much clinical time. And sometimes I feel here we get excellent kind of theoretical training, but not so maybe the practical stuff. And they're really hands-on.
So are there any questions so far? Yep.
For those of you that went to develop in the country, how did you ensure that when you went for the work that you're doing, that it was sustainable, you weren't going and actually like this sort of thing, the country that's already in place, or like going and being a student and actually like absorbing resources rather than giving?
Well, I don't know, the hospital that I went to kind of been set up for a really long time and set up to have students there, and we paid to stay there. It wasn't much, but what we were paying was like to pay for their electricity, bills, and everything. And especially, because we'd done quite a bit, because in final year, so I'd done kind of most of it pediatric. There was only one other doctor there at the time, so I felt that we were actually quite useful here too. And they were used to having students all the time, so it's kind of good to have students. And so far it's only been international students, but this year they're introducing having PhD students there as well.
I mean, it's a really good question as to sort of whether it's all more access to resources than you use them. But generally, say the one we went to, the fees you pay for your food, and then the extra money goes towards the hospital fund they have. And that's basically a community fund. A lot of them have them where they build a whole community. Also, they got electricity from the hospital, that was all hospital run. So you can look at it in that way as sustainable. Also, I guess the teaching aspect goes two ways, because medicine is practiced very differently in developing countries to the way it's practiced there. And their focus is different. Like, clearly medical shouldn't be expected to actually perform surgery there. Whereas when that capability, but we do a lot more medical, which they don't do, so they will generally ask you a lot of questions as well as you ask them.
So any other questions so far? Yep.
How is your clinical experience there different to from previous school experience?
Not too different actually. They always said I've got all the time in where I was from that it is quite similar to Melbourne, and it's true in the sense that medical system is also very similar in terms of clinical school that I went to as well. But basically, I really never really understood the medical school system in over there, but I just followed a whole bunch of surgeons and a whole bunch of medical students as well. And their days weren't confined to lectures or anything similar to sort of there. It was up to the onus was up to them to find the stuff to do. I think that was the hardest thing for me as well, because you'd be expected to go to the 6:30 a.m. ward rounds, and after that you'd be stuck around all day without you'd go home, or you'd just find surgeries to sponge and they'd welcome you to surgeries, but it only would be up to you to ask for permission to start or you can do this. I think it's a lot more self-started.
Yeah.
I found that from that I found it taking much more open to having great routine a little bit interested there and got changed to do the procedure differently. I was expected to look after product results and that sort of thing. There was the doctor there also that was obliged to teach. They often would apologise that they were teaching enough. So I thought it was really good in terms of learning more about how to medicine and also picking up skills we need to do.
Can be quite a good experience in working into some of their resources. So they, the one we were at, they could do electives on some days of the week, there's other investigations they had. So it's very much more clinical medicine based on experience and advanced equipment languages involved. But it really makes you think a bit more about what you're doing before you, I guess, prescribe anything for patients. You see what they go through rather than what happens here. So it's a good experience in sort of developing those skills.
I think clinically at Mass General it's very similar. You get outpatients and you see patients on your own, you take notes, go on ward rounds to present, do scrubbing, assisted surgery. It's very similar. I think the main difference are two. One, that in Mass General it's such a large hospital, there's about 1,000 beds. There's over 80 different operating theaters that run at the same time. So when they tell you to go to operating theater 96, there's actually operating theater 96. And the difference is, I like the center around Shriners, which is a philanthropic hospital. So they receive a substantial amount of funds, and you basically get to see how medicine would run if resources weren't a limit or weren't a factor, which is really interesting. And they also at Shriners, they don't have interims, residents, or registrars. So when there's a surgery and a scrub in, it's basically just consulting with myself. And I get to do a lot more than you normally do at clinical placements here. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, again, just having so much more responsibility. So we have our own patients, and you make decisions on the spot about what to do with them. Probably just an example, I had one Saturday, I was just sitting at our student house kind of emailing, whatever, nobody else was around. One of the nurses came to get me because a lady had just given birth and had a massive hemorrhage and I couldn't find anyone else, so I think that's a big difference, but that would never happen here. Yeah. They eventually found like that, the doctor, but for the first bit.
So just on that topic, what were your guys' like unique experiences that you had during your elective that you think like nowhere else would I have seen this, or there's no way I would have seen this in nowhere? Like, do you guys have any experiences like that?
I have a lot. Like machete wounds, just and even just like there's a lot of being a female like in the Highlands of Hindu is not a great place, and there's a lot of domestic violence. So there was one young girl who was just married, and her husband like kind of cut their hands, so they were attached backwards like that. Yeah, that's enough.
I think going to ground rounds at the Ether Dome, which was the first surgical amphitheater that they used to Ether, was pretty interesting. I went to a surgical ground rounds where they had one of the survivors from the Boston Marathon bombings who came and spoke to a group of surgeons, I guess, and his experience being treated as Mass General and like that day as well. At Shriners, they find patients, I think 60 or 70% of the patients are from overseas, and they're flown in, and a lot of them have 80%, 90% body surface area burns. So it's pretty tragic cases with that. A lot of times they end up spending 5-6 months in hospital. The families are there with them. There's accommodation within the hospital itself. So I think if you're interested in surgery or pediatrics, I like the vibe because probably one of the best experiences you ever get. And like I said, I got to do a lot in surgery, so I got to use some German time. I got to do a lot of suturing and a lot of grafting and debridement and things of that sort. So it was a great experience overall. But I think being able to experience Mass General, like the academic and the teaching culture that they have there is pretty great. So it's
Yeah, so some of the more interesting stuff is things like typhoid and malaria and TB all goes hand. You get a lot of obstetric complications, which you just generally wouldn't see here, like cases of eclampsia. I think the other in Victoria was two or three when we were there. And they can be quite challenging obstetric complications that you won't be ready to deal with when you're there, and they'll sort of expect them there and they'll deal with it their way. You see sort of bit of HIV, which can be quite intense as well, where it's quite a fast disease. So generally it's quite a mixed bag that's really interesting, and that's really something you want to see, but you don't really want to see as well.
I guess because Vienna is not a first world country, there's not much and see that I wouldn't see here, but I scrubbed in a lot of surgeries. I got to hold the orthopedics drill at one point, and I was able to like cut with a plate and help reattach his pain. So a few stab wounds, a few car accidents that I probably wouldn't be able to see it because of giving the registrars or all the other much older junior doctors. So I guess in that sense, I've also got a lot of hands-on experience given that I told them that I was in my second last year of this, which is true at the time, but to them it means that you've had quite a lot of hands-on experience, and that was part of finding from this book. Gave me a little bit more to do, but still not much that I probably could have seen here, but still it was a great experience. Your own hospital has a very universal country that you see all the problems that you see in the city. Because it's the main public hospital in the Northern Territory, you see a very different demographic to that you see in Melbourne. At all of our hospitals have the vast majority of patients are Aboriginal. We also have homeless people all over our hospital, which is relevant afterwards. All of our hospitals see refugees and also people from detention centres and so because of that, I got to see a large variety of unusual infectious diseases, so things like tertiary syphilis, scabies, malaria, TB, and neurosis, for example. I think the other special thing about Darwin is that because we're meeting people with pretty much different backgrounds, I think the cultural relationship was really valuable.
I think the most interesting thing that I kind of got to do was kind of grow people unique. So I looked like I said they were based in Africa and quite a few times I got to go to the general World Assembly and sit next to Chan and just meet some of the most amazing people from different countries. And a lot of projects I did work with a lot of doctors. So a lot of that was actually clinical doctors who work on health policies for the different hospitals, for collaborations from that country. And I was actually one big place that was working with the Bill Gates Foundation to work on a nationwide, Africa-wide, influenza vaccine program for everybody, and just being in a room with the Bill Gates Foundation from various for their name. And the Dallas as well was really cool. And they all had to teach you and what needs to be done. It's been a lot.
So any more questions at this stage? Yep.
I just wanted to ask about the language aspects. For those of you that live in places that don't normally speak English or their patients wouldn't speak English.
So because I did my group, I was going to say they have, I guess, a guide on their website that stipulates whether or not you need to speak the language in German, Austria,
and it said for me that I didn't need to speak fluent German or any German, which was quite, was quite surprised. I had to sort of email the exchange officer and clarify that, and of course clarify the need to speak any German, but just, or something like that. Try to prepare for it. And I wish they'd have told me that I did need German. Like, they said they didn't, that I didn't, but language obviously is a big barrier in that sense. I feel said to go to clinics. I spoke very little German and I speak less German now because I have dyslexia. So, I guess that was a big barrier. And if you're going to go to a place, obviously, that has a different language to what you are speaking to English, then pick up a few things there to just ameliorate that extra level of what the hell is going on.
So, any other questions?
Did anyone apply for the online program or any grant or something?
Yeah, I did the Melbourne Global Grant, which is really good. You get a grant out of the uni for that. Another one that I got, which I don't know this one, I don't know how it's from. I'm at the Austin, so I know they told us that it was the R. Simpson Elective Award. And that was split between two people, and I think that was $400 or something. And then you get free travel insurance through the uni as well, which is probably the best travel insurance you can get if you go to the world.
Any more? Yeah.
There's like a $6,000 loan you can put onto your apps. Did any of you take that? Did any of you know about that? Yeah. And was there any reason why you didn't take it or you weren't accepted?
I'm fairly certain I did look into that and it required. Does it require some sort of criteria to fulfill, or?
I think we're all eligible for it.
I think at that point I was just like, oh, I don't know if I can do this like this. So sorry.
No, right.
Just following on from that, did any of you have grants or scholarships that were funded right through that, or was it all self-funded?
It was all self-funded. I saved so much money and did not look for so long. But it was over here.
Maybe it was show hands who self-funded. So,
and I guess the question you'd probably be asking is how much was it overall? Yeah. So I'd say, so with me, differing on different programs that you either the same depends on what country you go to, but it was $800 for me to apply to get into the program. If you got accepted in the first place, so that was $800, and which includes the airfare, so it's about like $1,800 as well to Europe. And then that $800 covers your accommodation because you get set up either in a big accommodation house or you get a room in someone in that clinical school's house. So yeah, so that $800 was pretty good considering that I was there for 4 weeks and that covered my accommodation and my food. I didn't have to pay very much for my food. So that was that, and then on top of other expenses, I'd say all up was about $4,000 for those 4 weeks.
Were there any unexpected costs in any of you came across? Like, oh shit.
Mr. Black.
Don't do that. Don't get hungover.
The other thing I'd say is if you do end up going to countries, it's good to do stuff while you're there as well. And like say with Africa, it's expensive to get there, but it's really cheap once you're there. So the initial expense is very much offset by the rest of the trip. And in saying that as well, if you go somewhere like that, booking flights in and out of the continent is the expensive part. Internal flights that is cheaper buses over there.
Okay, so Yeah.
Did you guys decide to go where you wanted to go because you wanted to go for a holiday there as well? Or did you want to go because you wanted to like be a good Samaritan, or did you want to go because you wanted to go to Europe, or did you want to go because?
So why did you want to go?
Bit of a mix. I wanted to do the elective in Africa, and I also really wanted to go to safari, find go to the handgun and stuff like that. We do that all in the country, so it's pretty awesome.
I won't lie, the fact that Vienna is in the middle, smack bang in the middle of Europe, and the subsequent 2 or 3 weeks that I had after that was spent traveling the rest of Europe was a bit plus, but I went because I was just wanting to sort of make use of my 3 or 4 months out and just go overseas and do something, just something I want to do, and that was the easiest platform that I could find it in, and that just happened to be a city that I was placed in. So, I mean, it's all a bit of serendipity, but yeah, Europe, Paris. I'm not going to say that that's a great thing. There we go. I was just down and those projects go, and I got to something that was related to some things that not
So just a quick question on that. Do you think going to an Australian elective provides a better opportunity for a reference or something like that to use in internship? No?
Actually, I can remember out of it.
Yeah.
I did it later on during the studies.
I'm already good at all again. It's a mix. It really depends on what out of it. I was getting pretty much campaign in Europe every weekend. I was in a different country. I'm not going to complain about probably one of the parts of it. But I think do something that you're going to enjoy and something that you want to enjoy. And you can travel while you're doing it. That's really awesome.
I was say no one should go to Boston in January. It's way too cold. So you just find yourself at the bar.
You speak loud, you don't really need mics.
So nobody really goes to, well, I guess no, people do go to PNG for a holiday, but you probably think if you're going to spend the money to go on a holiday, you might pick somewhere a bit easier. Traveling around is not that easy. It's fun. It's a bit scary, really.
So we'll have 1 or 2 more questions and wrap it up. So yeah.
For those of you who went through the developing countries, did you ever see yourself getting to the point where we
No, only driving in the car because we had to drive like 5 hours up the mountains and it wasn't really the road. And we were in the back of the ute, like not in the cabin, like the train. So, and then when we got there, the river was flooded because of rain heaps, so we had to like drive across the river and yeah, I didn't think we could. Not in terms of like the tribal violence and everything, it's all kind of into trouble. Like I could go to the market in a little town, everything by myself, and it's kind of nothing to do with me. It's not violence directed towards. It's good. It's not really bad with white people.
So no machete threats.
No, everyone like, because we were the only kind of, apart from the doctor and his family, like the only white people in town, so it's quite a, feel like wave and want to come and shake your hands and that kind of thing. So, no.
Yeah, I'd just say don't sit at the front of the bus, because they overtake, like, you've never seen before, like, a couple meters in front of you and the other car coming away. But kind of like that, like, you end up in places where people have never seen a white person before, and that's quite an interesting experience because we have a lot of children cry around us. So it's not really violent, it's more like a shock.
I'm going to say Boston's no picnic either, I almost got shot.
So, if you guys had one piece of experience or one thing you'd change from your elective, what do you think it would be?
I'd like to stay longer. Because 9 minutes before week. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Time of year.
I
I struggled with a lot of surgeries, and I'd say I'd probably try and struggle more because it just. Yeah. I mean, because it's an orthopedics based thing, you have to wear all the lead, but still it's really I really regret going during the wet season when it was extremely humid, very hot, and I spent a lot of time reading books and watching videos instead of taking my little weird. Yeah, I went in the middle of winter, yeah, and although it was beautiful, it was so cold. So cold.
I stay longer, I go early in the winter, like that. And the European winter is finishing with over 6 months.
Yeah. Alright, so if anyone has any other questions, otherwise, I think we're pretty much wrapped up. So thanks for everyone who helped organise the Elective Subcommittee Exchange, the Exchange Subcommittee, Education Subcommittee, and I'd just like to flag the IFMSA application open today, and in 2 weeks' time we'll be running a careers night. This quiz night hasn't been advertised yet, but it's coming up soon, so we're going to organise speakers who will come talk about each level of the hospital and what your job will be. So if you've been unsure about what a resident does versus an intern or a registrar versus a consultant versus fellows, we're going to have that. We're going to have we're going to have a surgeon, a GP, a physician talking about all the pathways you can go down, how you can get into those pathways, the general lifestyle, things like that. So it's all really, really kind of like early down stuff that you really want to know now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the Electives Night and enjoy the rest of your day. Well, enjoy it.
You went to the doctor's school.